All right. Wow. This is Halifax, and I thought I would just try something out for the Classic League. I actually borrowed this idea from Ultra Magnus. He is running the NHL95 League. He does this kind of weekly update on how the league's doing and some rules and kind of clarifications and those things. But mine is going to be much just more simpler. I just kind of wanted to go through the standings of post the first checkpoint. So I'll do Genesis first, and I'll just kind of start from the top and work my way down. Now, obviously, the standings here are a little bit funny because the way it sort of moves along. Just having Gens A first, really it should be Gens AA first, but I think that's just probably more of how the alphabetical order of it, and that's why it just shows that way. But obviously, we know that Gens AA is the top league, and so kind of our goal with this, with the whole league, was to um, try and set up the uh, league so that they were a lot more closer in skill level. And I think the ultimate goal was to try and hope to see if we could reduce the amount of players that are above that 700 win percentage and below that 300 win percentage is kind of what our goal was for this year. So overall, there is a few outliers in the season, but as we move along here, so obviously AJ, he only played 5 games so far, but he's 4-1. He's at 800%, and Raf 5-3. Not surprising that they are the top two. Tickanest, he's got his 10 games in, 4-6. Scribe at 3-6, and Seb hasn't played a game yet, but hopefully he will get his games in soon. Otherwise, he might be stepping down. I'm not sure there, but we'll see. Gens A. We have 10 teams in Gens A, and Atomic had to drop out, as some people already know. So Kaz Legend has taken over today, so you'll be getting some games in tonight. But let's just see who's doing well. So Thrill House with Chicago, way out in front right now, 14-4, having a really good season. But for the rest of them, they're kind of bunched up here. Chris O 9-13, Spackman 8-7, Tecmo DPS 8-11. Hockey Fan 14-10, Indio 14-13, and then Whalers might win 13-8, and Dan TML 4-6. Oh, Mr. Tex, you played a couple games. That must have just happened because I know that it was at 0 before I had looked at it. So, but 2 losses for him to start. I'm just going to go take a look and see who he played. 2 losses to Boston. So Tecmo DPS got a couple of wins there. All right. Gens B. And Gens B is right now it's being dominated by NIU Husky. 24-6. So he's kind of well on his way to getting that 30 win club. And right now he's averaging just over 5 goals a game. So he might get that 200 goals club as well. I always like to give shout outs to people who reach 30 wins or reach 200 goals in a season because it doesn't happen very often. There's usually only a handful of guys that do it each year. I think last year maybe we only had 3 or 4 people that either had 30 wins or 200 goals. So Coke is 17-13. This division has actually played a ton of games so far this season. I mean, gosh, Beavis is already at 33. There's 3 guys that are over 30 games just after the first checkpoint. And Leif Erickson 10-14. Charles Worth 9-14. T-Dubs 8-17. Lots of games. McMarcus, I think, just started playing this weekend here, so he's 4-2. So, but this one here is kind of the league that we were like looking for when you're looking at win percentages, trying to stay above 300. All the teams are above 300, and hoping that we weren't having something more than 700. But right now, NIU Husky, well, he's got Chicago too, and so he is having a stellar season at 800 win percentage. Gen C, let's take a look. Gen C has got 8 teams in their division here. Most teams have played except for Jay Carrillo, if I pronounce that right. And I think that he was planning on getting some this weekend. Ellis took a surprise team. I'm not sure if he was just relying on some strong D, but taking New Jersey may have cost him. Right now, he's at 1-7 and not off to a good start. Jer, a longtime veteran, got 22 games in. He's sitting at 10-12, and he was telling me that he really has been enjoying the season so far. Teams the games have all been really competitive, and that's what he likes about it. So that's what we wanted to try and do. So that was a nice compliment to hear from him. That Drizzle sitting at 5-3. Big Falboski hasn't lost a game yet, but he's only played 4 games. So I mean, let's just see who he started out against here. 4 games. He played St. Louis once and 3 games against Buffalo. I wonder why he played the 1 game. Something must have happened there. Usually it's not very often that someone plays 1 and then doesn't play anymore. But Tecmo John sitting at 500. How would you pronounce this? A.E. Perniat. A Perniat? I'd love to know how you pronounce that or how he pronounces it. But Lego, he's at 12-8, got 20 games in so far, doing pretty good there. But nobody on pace for, Valboski's on pace for the 30 wins, but again, very, very, very early. Jens D, let's check it out. 9 teams. Ultra Magnus is 37 games played. He is leading the games played category, looking for that first to 40. He's sitting at 18-19, but look right below him. Kids wasted. Wow, 14-1. He is just smashing this league right now, and so quite possible that we'll probably end up moving him up to the next one next year, provided that this continues. BAME 23, 11-4, also doing really well. A couple of teams here that are all kind of off to a really strong start, but you know it's Gens D and it's the bottom league, so there still could be a bit of a gaps between skill level. Comical Font, awesome that they have played 25 games, 6-19 so far. You know, not a strong win percentage, but you know for your first league, pretty good, and obviously getting a lot of games in is really cool too. So, and then Lee Dagger, they also have 15 games played. 4-11, but those two kind of on the bottom end of the league, and we've got a couple people up here at the top end of the league. Buckaroo, time to get your game on, bud. 2 games so far. We need to get you up to a lot more than that. So hopefully they'll be getting some games in soon. And for the rest of them, Wittgenstein, he came back from haven't played in several years. You kind of want to get back into it. So 7-8 so far, double down here. 4-6 hasn't played in a little bit, but once a guru, 7-3. So, anyways, kind of a bit more spread out on this one. Nobody on pace right now for the 200 goal mark. All right, let's move on to. So again, the Super Nintendo. Again, it goes A, AA, AAA, B. Really, we're going to start with Triple A. Triple A. So let's scroll down here and take a look. And we've got, who do we have leading here? Well, we got Bob Kadowski and Coke. They're both kind of out in the front right now. Kadowski 11-5. Coke is 18-11. So very strong starts for them. Some other teams here. A couple teams haven't. Death Rocks hasn't played yet, and I guess he needs an adapter. So hopefully he's going to get that soon, but we'll see. Token Toma, last year's champion, obviously had the lowest pick this year, and he's off to an 0-4 start. But I don't imagine that that's going to hold up for very long. He'll get the move on. So. A few teams in here on pace for that 200 goals season. The Professor, 5.22. Raf, 6.45. There's possibly 4 players that may end up reaching that. Now Jammers, he just started, he's early on, but still 5.5. Wouldn't put it out past him to get up there. So this one's been a strange thing. Coke's played a lot of games. There's a few others that are in the double digits, but half the league, more than half the league, is under the double digits in games played. So hopefully those guys will get that rolling soon. Double A, the double. Dick and S, 17-8, and Mooney, 11-5, almost the same win percentage between them. McMarcus, 3-2, he just kind of got rolling there. And then we have Fed on the other division, the Norris division, 11-6. With Indio, Birdman, they're kind of hovering around that, well, he's at the 500 mark. He's a couple games behind there, 3 games behind the 500 mark. So, and then we have a few people sitting at the bottom at the moment. Big Valboski, 1-6, Grillbit, 0-5, and Ellis at 0-8. And S the D, as I know he just popped on. He was away for a few days, but he popped on there Thursday. Didn't get any games in yet, but so hopefully he'll get rolling there too. So early on, we've got 4 teams that are kind of way out in front, and a couple teams in the middle, and then the rest of them right now sitting at the bottom. Your early leader to get 200 goals this season, Mooney, at 5.19 goals per game. So we'll see if he can finish strong there. SNES A. This is a good division too. We have the Rexer Show, who hasn't lost a game yet, but again, only 4 games played. Hockey fan who he's SNES is probably his favorite system. It's surprising that he's only out 4-10 at this point, but I know that he's going to finish strong. He loves Super Nintendo. Doesn't upset him at all or make him mad or anything like that. So he'll turn this around, no problem. That 286 will definitely climb the ladder there. So, but in terms of points, I mean, the 90 Jacket, he's 11-9. He's out in front. Lego is just behind him by 2 points, although Lego is 10-19. So he's got that 345 win percentage. So I think with a team with 6 teams in the league, 345 right now will not get you in. You probably want to be at least above 400 win percentage. So you'll have to kind of pick it up down the stretch here, I think, if he wants to squeak in there. Dan TML, 9-5, and in terms of win percentage, other than the Rexer Show, who's only played 4, Dan is he's up there as well, so he's in second spot. Got Slippery Pete, 9-8, and a few teams like around the middle there. That Drizzle, 7-7, Tecmo John, 7-5, Skills, 5-3. So I think this division is going to be very competitive right down to the very end. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that is going to pan out. Taking a quick look over here, there is nobody on pace for the 200 goal season at this point. And our final league, the SNES B. 8 teams. 8 teams in here, and Dan K. Oh, Dank, come on, get some games in, bud. You're always playing all the time. You're asking for 2v2. You're drinking a lot of beer. I figured that there would be a lot more games played by now. So I know that he's good for it. Hopefully this will pick up soon there, so you can start seeing some wins. Greg has been around. He's been asking for games. I'm not sure why he hasn't been able to get any games in yet, but I've seen him online on Discord there asking for some games during the week. So, and your leader right now is Decadent, 11-6. That's 647 win percentage. He's out in front. And IU Husky is 9-6. And then we got a few others bunched in the middle there. Berg at 5-8. Good old Saskatoon boy. AAA 7-8, Kids Waste at 5-4, and then Gamby, who just played a few more games today at 2-4. But again, the goal of this league when we started this whole thing was to try and see if we could reduce the amount of teams that finish above 700 and finish below 300 win percentage. And I think if we can do that, I believe I took a quick look and looked at last year's. And I think I counted 23 that would have been either above 700 or below 300. So, and I think we're roughly have about the same amount of people. I have to double check that. But Hopefully this season will be better. But anyways, there we are. And again, we've got a few people early on here that could get over 200 goals. 3 people that are averaging over 5 goals per game. So, and I know that there's one game. We're going to call this the game of the week, or the the game for the checkpoint. And it was crazy when I saw the score. 13-10 is incredible. Look at all the goals. Bure had 10. He sniped 10 goals, which was insane. 14 shots, 10 goals. And you can see that into the third, that AAA did take the lead at one point, and then Vancouver ended up coming back and tying it. And then it just kind of went bang, 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 bang. He scored 4 in a matter of, 26 seconds there? That's crazy. 4 goals. Gotta stop those. Gotta stop them from coming in off the face-off like that. Call a timeout, do something. I don't know. And then Detroit got one late there anyway. So this is the second highest amount of games combined that have ever been scored. These two actually own the record. I took a quick look. I think it was 16-8, if I'm not mistaken. So where we got league records. No, that's not what I want. I want site records. That's what I want to do. Super Nintendo. If we go down, and you'll see here that Berg and AAA had a game in the Draft League Season 5. It was a 16-8 score. So now that was 24 goals, and then they got this one now that was 23. So it doesn't show up here, even though they would be tied. But I'm guessing that must be how this is formatted. So in other words, you have to beat this one in order to pass it. Otherwise, that'll stay there. But so there you go. That is it for this segment. I thought I would just try it out. And if you hate it, it's better that you just don't tell me that you hate it so that I can keep doing it. Thanks. Talk to you soon.